What's up, guys, and welcome to the show. So I want to talk about, sorry for the lateness of the Friday video, but I want to talk about something that's always been close and near and dear to my heart, and that is throwing knives. Mostly I want to talk about different types of throwing knives and beginner, entry level, that type thing. We'll start off with the Ranger. Now this one is one that's very near and dear and very close to my heart. This one I would say is a more of an entry level type. It's very easy to throw, like a no spin throw. Not so much easy for like a double spin. Single spin throw, it is still pretty easy to do, but not so much I find for like a double spin type thing. Another one I want to talk about is a perfect point stainless steel, these ones. Now this one is, as you could tell, a little bit longer than that. I think that's 5 inch. That's a 5.5. I believe, I can't really remember the measurements on this, but this one again is a lot better for a no spin throw. This one's a better for no spin throw than this one is. This one's better for single and double spin, but this one is definitely a lot harder to throw than this one. So I would start off with something like that before you jump into something like that. Then we will move on to another perfect point. That's this puppy. Now this one is definitely a lot heavier than these two. This one's got decent weight. This one's got no weight. This one's got more weight than this one. It's a lot longer than both these. You could tell. This one's a really good single spin, double spin, triple spin knife. For a no spin knife, it's a little bit more difficult. Again, I would start off with this before you get into this, and before you get into that. Start off with a no spin before you get into the more spinny type knives. Then I'm going to jump on to, again, another perfect point, this big guy. Now this isn't the order that I started throwing these ones or anything like that, but this one is a phenomenal knife. As you can tell, it's a lot bigger, it's a lot longer, it's a lot heavier. It was gripped handle. It had paracord wrapped handle. I didn't really like those because I kind of find it was a little bit difficult to throw. When you throw, you of course want the knife to slide out of your hand. You don't want to chuck it or anything like that. You want it to slide out of your hand. Now this is an amazing spinning knife. You could do double spin, single spin. I really like it because it's really good for a tip throw. If you want to throw it by the tip, it's really good for that. I recommended, I don't know if I did a review video on that or not, but again, I would start with this before that, and well before this. You definitely want to practice before you get into the bigger ones, but this is a really great spinning knife. No spin knife, this is actually a really great no spin knife as well. The balance in it is just amazing. Now those are there. These ones I probably should have talked about before I talked about that, but whatever. These ones are just a group package of different types, different styles of throwing knives. You have something like this, which I think these are perfect point. No, they're not. They're top runner blades. This one has some decent weight. They're all different weights and stuff like that, but basically I wouldn't start off with these. Like, I know they're kind of like, they're a good spinning knife, good no spin knives. Some of them aren't not good no spin knives, but I would probably start off with more something like this, and then kind of go into that, and then that type thing. But I would start off with more something like these. I don't think that they're very expensive or anything like that for these types. You get, like I said, like all these different styles, different lengths, all that fun stuff. But I would start off with more this style and that, because they're all kind of, you know, thinner, lighter. They stick more easily, basically. I would get into that before getting into that type stuff, but those are those. These ones are some nice silver wings. A little bit of rust on there. I gotta clean them up, but these are in some nice silver wings. These ones are really good. These ones I would definitely get into last before I get into really everything I'm going to show you. I would definitely get into these last because of the style of them. As you could tell, it's not really, well, they're all more pointed, but you could still, with this, you could stick, you know, here, here. This one, same thing. You could stick pretty much anywhere. This one's more harder to stick on the side because it's actually just really dull. It has no edge, but it has a point. So that's why I think that this one's a little bit more tougher to throw. You might disagree with me, and that's cool. But this one for me is a little bit more difficult to throw. I think anyway, for me, it's a little bit more difficult. At far distance, I really like this knife. And that's when I think you should start getting into a knife like this, is when you start throwing further distances. Then we're going to talk about the Behemoth. This is a foot long. This is a 12-inch blade. I love throwing this from the handle. It's a great. I've never thrown snow spin with this. I don't know if you really can, and I don't know if I really would recommend it. I find it's a great 1 to 2 spin knife. I would get into something like that before I jump into something like this, just because I do somewhat have success throwing this further, but because it's so heavy, I have to really huck it at further distances and that type of thing. When you're up to a medium to close range, it's really easy to get this knife to stick because of the weight and how you throw it. But when you're further distance, you could get it to stick, but you really have to huck it. You have to work on your technique and that. Yeah, so that's everything. That was just a little rambling rant video on the throwing knives. Hope you guys liked it. Comment and subscribe.